And there is no way to inject new cartilage, right? Say into our knees. We can't just get an injection of new cartilage.
Well, not right at this point, but they are working on stem cells, of culturing stem cells to generate new cartilage, and so it's in the early stages, but right now it's not a universally available means of treatment.
What do you, this is just your personal opinion, do you think we'll see that in our lifetime?
We'll see some.
Close, or?
Well, they already are using it in limited areas where there's a defect in the joint, where there's a little hole, that they're actually culturing some of these, making new cartilage and putting it in that area to patch that little hole up. And they're having some success, but it's still, again, experimental and very early. But I think for the whole joint, I'm not sure if we'll see that in our lifetime, but it may come.
Oh, hopefully it'll come someday. That would be wonderful. Another question here is, how can you keep your bones healthy besides the daily portion of dairy products?
Well,
anything specific, I guess? How to
well, that's again a big question. The important things, number one, is always for everything, good diet. You have to have enough calcium and vitamin D and vitamin C, protein. That's number one. Number two, one of the worst or the most common causes of osteoporosis is smoking. Smoking is bad for everything in your body.
I was just going to say, I think it's bad for everything, but I didn't realize it related directly.
Oh yeah, osteoporosis and smoking go along together. So, you know, don't smoke.
Don't smoke,
don't smoke.
How many times have we said that here?
And then the other thing is exercise is very important.
Yes.
Exercise maintains your bone. For instance, a child little children jump off things, well, that's important for them to do that because it strengthens their bones. We know that if we put someone in a cast and they don't use it, we could see in the x-rays the calcium leaching out of the bones. So you need to have activity. So sedentary people who smoke are just asking for osteoporosis. So we're talking about the diet, no smoking, exercise, and exercise to keep your bone structure good. Now, it's not diet. As you get older, especially in women postmenopausal, their bone turnover is much greater. Bone, again, isn't a piece of concrete. It's a living thing that changes all the time. And after a certain age, it starts degenerating more. The only thing you could do, the most important thing is in early age, not the postmenopausal, but women in their 20s, 30s should see that they always are taking enough calcium, enough vitamin D, and exercise to build up their bone stock to prepare themselves for later years when they don't have quite as much control.
So in their 30s and 40s?
They should start it, not even in the 20s.
Really?
20, start early with the vitamin D and the calcium, especially in this day and age. We don't drink milk like we did many years ago, and there are a lot of people deficient, even men, by the way, are deficient in vitamin D and calcium. So more and more family doctors are prescribing vitamin D.
Yes, I've been hearing more and more myself about that recently. Now that kind of ties into this next question here from Carol, and Carol, thank you for your question. Carol says, is it pointless to drink milk if you're in your 40s? Does it continue to make bones strong, or should I be taking a calcium supplement?
At that point, I would take a calcium supplement. I mean, it's okay to drink some milk, but you know, you have to get the daily minimum. You know, and if you take it, if I recall, I don't prescribe it so much. I leave that to the family doctors, but about 1,000 milligrams a day or so. And it's hard to get that through milk alone, unless you really like to drink milk. But it's easier to supplement it. This way, you know you're getting it all the time, and it's easy enough to take.
Sure.
So I would take supplements.
Sure. Now, we're getting another question here regarding vitamin D, but I'm just curious as to, living here in upstate New York, for instance, are we more likely to be vitamin D deficient because of the lack of sunshine here year-round, or doesn't that really make
I don't think that makes too much of a difference. It's not like, hundreds of years ago when children worked in coal mines and they didn't get sunshine and so forth. I think that was a different issue. I think there's enough sunshine around for that.
Well, this question is from Natalie, and Natalie, thank you very much for your question. And Natalie says, I have heard that taking vitamin D pills can help you prevent osteoporosis, and it is something that I have been doing recently. But I get to the pharmacy and there are bottles of vitamin D ranging from 1,000 IU to over 5,000 IU. I'm lost as to which dosage I should take, I guess. What should an individual take on a daily basis of vitamin D? And aside from vitamins and exercise, is there anything else that a person can do to prevent osteoporosis?
Well, again, with the medical treatment, more the surgical treatment, but generally it's recommended that you take about 800 to 1,000 IU, not 5,000, unless there's a specific problem, and that's something that would have to be discussed with your primary physician as far as vitamin D goes. Again, the other things for osteoporosis, it's really one of prevention of starting early. Can't emphasize that. Building up your bone mass when you're in your 20s and 30s with vitamin D and exercise and calcium. After that, if one's already in 40s and 50s, exercise is always important. Not smoking, what I mentioned before, and taking these supplements. Now, if someone is osteoporotic, and I would mention this wasn't a question, but osteopenia and osteoporosis. Osteopenia means the beginning of osteoporosis. It's just one standard deviation from the norm, whereas osteoporosis is a more extensive loss of bone value. There are medications if someone is osteoporotic to try to build up more bone, and that's something that one can speak to your family doctor or rheumatologist about.
Sure. Okay.
But you can take medication for it.
Okay.